this stuff about is there a future life, is there a past life. Only reason why people are thinking, and people are even asking, what's the meaning of life? Right? The reason why we're asking all these questions, is there a future life? We're basically asking, what's the meaning of my life? Right? Is there a God? Is there a heaven? Is there a hell? Is there a future life? These are just different ways of asking the same basic question.
Maybe there's no
what's
meaning
the
in
meaning
life.
of my life?
Maybe there's no meaning.
Now, the thing is, suppose you're living life with totally ecstatic, filled with joy, filled with blissfulness. Will you ask really the question, what's the meaning of my life? You only ask what's the meaning of my life because you're not truly living. If you're truly absorbed in life, if you're truly immersed in life, and you're too busy thriving in the process of life, the only reason why these questions start happening, they start arising, is because life in one way or another has been found to be unsatisfying. But if we're living life out of total blissfulness, you're totally ecstatic, these questions have basically no meaning. You're too involved in the process. It's a bit like somebody who's free. He never has the idea of freedom in his mind. The very idea, if you're truly free, the very idea of freedom doesn't even cross by your mind. You're too busy living it. So the idea of freedom only has tremendous importance for somebody who's been living as a slave. Right? The deeper your slavery, the more intense your slavery is, the more and more important the idea of freedom becomes. That's why for people who are truly free, who are truly liberated, the idea of freedom doesn't even pass by their mind. The idea of what's going to happen to me, these questions don't even pass by your mind. You're totally contented right here, right now. Why bother waiting till death to enter into paradise? Why not enjoy your paradise right here, right now? Why feel the need to postpone your happiness to some otherworldly dimension, sitting next to God in paradise, or some nirvana beyond the body? Why feel the need? If you can enjoy life right here, you can create a paradise in this very moment. So, it reminds me of a story of, there was a Zen master, and he was giving a talk to his disciples, and the way he was speaking was filled with such clarity, such brilliance, such luminosity, that there was one priest in the audience who became jealous. So he just made a noise like this, sarcastically. And the master said, "Who made that noise?" And the priest said, "I made that noise. This whole time I'm sitting here listening to what you've been saying. You've been talking and talking and talking. I come from one sect. In our sect, our master, he was able to stand on one side of the river, and on the other side of the river was his servant who held up one piece of paper, and the master just signed the name of Amir the Buddha. Amir the Buddha, he's one of the Buddhas in Buddhism. So he just signed the name of Amir the Buddha, standing on the other end of the river. Now you've been sitting here talking this whole time. Now you show me, what kind of miracles do you have to demonstrate? If you're really so enlightened, if you're really so awakened, you'll be able to perform such a miracle." And the master said, "Such a miracle like this, it may be considered a miracle for the kind of master you know, the kind of master you're familiar with. My miracles are very simple. When I'm hungry, I eat. When I'm tired, I sleep." If you're truly absorbed into the present moment. You know, there was one statement by, you ever heard of, he's an English poet. His name is William Blake. Have you ever heard of him? He was a very well-known English poet. And he made one statement. This shows you how even artists can be inspired in such a way that they come to really breakthrough insights. Because William Blake, he was not a yogi, he was not a mystic, he wasn't involved in any of these spiritual processes. But he made one statement. It could have easily been said by any other Zen master, it could have easily been said by any other awakened being. He said, if the doors of your senses were cleansed, everything would appear as it is, infinite. If you really see things clearly as they are, not according to so many, the veils and the filters of the mind, the projections of the mind, the identifications of the mind, the programming of the mind, if you just see things with total clarity, then everything is divine. In your experience, everything becomes divine. If you truly come to a certain silence, when you're truly absorbed in silence, then the very meaning of life becomes irrelevant. The meaninglessness of life becomes irrelevant. You're living in communion with this present moment. And if you live in communion with this present moment, nothing's lacking. Already here and now, this is your paradise, this is your nirvana, this is your enlightenment. And whatever happens after death of the body, who cares? What's